Hello, dear friend. The year 2025 has already started, and if you want to make a new PC, new computer for video editing software, especially for DaVinci Resolve 18 and 19, you are at the right place here. In today's video, we will guide all the basics, specs, how to make the PC for your DaVinci Resolve video editing softwares, and which type of hardware you should choose. On the basis of my experience, I will explain about the mid-range computer, so that your budget could allow you to buy these hardwares. Nowadays a computer is a very costly. Making a PC and building a PC is a very costly. When you are a freelancer, just freelancer, your earning is not too high like me. And if you want to make a computer, it will guide you, dear friend. Last years I built this PC. You see, I have here this PC and monitor for DaVinci Resolve 19. I especially bought this, prepared this PC because I work, I teach DaVinci Resolve, and I work for my small clients for freelancing, for video editings. I use this computer especially. If you want to buy a laptop or Mac for video editing, my best suggestion is to just go for build a PC with Windows. And Mac and any others, if you buy a laptop very costly, it will not provide the value for your money, dear friends. It will be very costly, and at the same price, and 30% it will be cheaper to build a computer for video editings, and it will provide you the best value. That's why I tell you that make a PC. I show you now. Sorry, you see, I have Lenovo this laptop, but I was not satisfied with this laptop for my video editing works. And I bought it so costly. In the same price, you can make a good PC for your video editing. It will work for a long times. Processor or computer is stronger, far stronger than this laptop. Even if you buy, if you want to run Final Cut Pro like video editing software on Mac, then it's okay. Go for buy Mac if you have money. But if you are like me, a mid-range video editors, just go say today I suggest you the best hardware. Otherwise, you can go for i7, i9, and others in the same the AMD processors, very high-end processor. It will be the best. But which I run DaVinci Resolve 19 here. You see, I have a speed editor here, and I use this for video editing on DaVinci Resolve. It's working very good. Or you can see my YouTube tutorial there. You can find all video. Dear friend, for processor, you have to go for minimum 13 or 12th generation of Intel's, and 6 core minimum. You need minimum 6 cores and 12 threads to run DaVinci Resolve smooth. The timeline will be smoother. Otherwise, it will not handle properly. So you can go for if you want to buy Intel, it's a good Intel 13th or 14th generation. Always remember that you have to buy with integrated GPU. It's a good for in the timelines. DaVinci Resolve work with integrated GPU in Intel's very fine. And if you want to buy Ryzen, then go for Ryzen 7000 series. The cheapest processor there, I bought Ryzen 7600X. There are 6 core and 12 threads, and boost speed is minimum 4.3 and maximum 5.3. It works so good. And you go on internet, you can read all the specs, and it's a computer. On the other hand, in Intel is 13th generations, i5 or 12th generation. You can go for Intel 12th generation i5. It is also okay if it's with integrated GPU. I recommend you to go to 13th or 14th generation. On the other hand, if you're on AMD, you can go for Ryzen 7600X and 7600. It has integrated GPU, and other Ryzen 7700 is also good. There are 8 core and 16 threads are there, and it's also good. But for me, I thought it's a Ryzen 7600X was more suitable for me. It was cheaper to make a mid-range computer for the video editing software. Or otherwise, you can go for high-end PC if you want to make with Ryzen 7000 series. It's based on 5 nanometers technology, so it's a good and it will work for a long time. You can, if you want to change the motherboards, you have to. If you want to change the processor, you don't need to buy other motherboard. On the same motherboard, you can make your computer. I have bought the Asus motherboard for this computer. Don't forget to buy RTX 3060. 3060 is okay. I bought RTX 3060 12th GB RAM. It's good for content creation. Otherwise, you can go for RTX 40th series, and there are lots of choice, but it's very costly. But no, RTX 3060 is good, and there are 12th GB RAM. It's good for processing. So in DaVinci Resolve, when you work, 70% of time it works on always on a GPU. In time of rendering, to only it consumes 25 to 30% CPU only, and there it consumes 90% of GPU. No, GPU RTX 3060, which I have, and it works very fine. If I hadn't RTX 3060, it would be very difficult to render video after the editing. So it helps me a lot, and I suggest you go for NVIDIA 3060 series or other above. It's good at present for video editings. Otherwise, you can go to 20 series, 2060. I don't know, 27 16 something maybe, but those GPUs are very cheaper, no. But for my recommendation, minimum 3060. Otherwise, if you have money, you can go above, but this is good for mid-range PC building. And for RAM, if you want to buy RAM, don't go for 16 GB. It's a very less. I had 32 GB, but when I have tutorial video for 40 minutes, I edit in time of rendering, some parts of the video was vacant because at that time it was not enough RAM to process for the DaVinci Resolve. When the DaVinci Resolve renders, start rendering, so it works 32 GB, almost it consumes. So I have no 48 GB, and it's a very comfortable. I can render 1 hour video, 2 hours video very good. When you edit, it consumes only 16 GB, less than 16 GB. But when you render, it consumes 32 GB, 33 GB. So anybody tells you on 16 GB your DaVinci Resolve will work, it's not true. It's a minimum 32 GB. I have in advance 16 GB, 48 GB all. In future, I will add more 16 GB. Always go for a fifth generation's RAM, DDR5 RAMs. It's a good DDR5 RAM, and the speed is very good. NVMe5's SSD is good. It's a recommended nowadays because in time of rendering, it render 5 fast. I have a Samsung something 9080 on very good NVMe 1 TB SSD, and I have 500 GB I have allotted to C drives only, and 500 for other works. For F drive I have allocated. It's a good ideals for video editing. And others buy a good power supply, because I bought bronze, some Chinese company. It's not working sometime. It's not automatically disconnect and connect. My monitor goes off, automatically becomes darks, and it's a very annoying, because most of time it's stable, but sometimes it happens because it's bronze. I tried to saved money there, but ultimately I felt that I would have invested 50 $60 and $100 more, and I should have bought minimum silver. And if you buy gold for power supply, it's a good choice for you. It's actually ideal for power supply. And NVIDIA RTX 3060 minimum buy, because 12 GB RAM, it's good for content creator. For if you have three, you want to work Blender on Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, and you want to use Photoshop or Affinity Photo Suites for graphic designing, it's a very ideal, dear friend. It's work like charm. This is actually normal PC building. Always try to buy processor minimum 6 core, 12 threads, and then buy a good GPU, because without GPU your creativity will be not good. You can't apply so much effects, so many effects inside your video. So GPU is a very important part of video editing, and GPU must be NVIDIA. Here I recommend it. Processor, you can go for Intel and AMD. Nowadays there are so many differences where the processor is cheaper. For me, Ryzen 5 7600X, this is for fourth nanometer technology, and 7000 series. This I bought because it was cheaper for me, cheaper than Intel, and performance was not so many differences in timeline DaVinci Resolve. So I went for that because there was integrated GPU also at the same price. You can check the price because the price varies. And this computer I have built around 1200 USD, because I bought all the parts and I myself assembled. You can assemble yourself. Go, there are lots of tutorials on YouTube. You can see, and you can assemble. And motherboard, try to buy Asus and some other Gigabyte. If you can buy, if you try to buy with the Wi-Fi, integrated Wi-Fi in the motherboards, and there are two sockets minimum for your GPU. In future you can add one more GPU, and minimum four sockets for RAMs. It's a very necessary, and in future, and minimum two sockets for NVMe SSD is a very necessary. If you have two sockets in future, you can add more. You can add more their SSD, and minimum two hard disks you can add to your motherboard. It's actually ideal. And more for monitors, I have bought this. You see, this is a Dell 33-inch something. It's a 4K monitor. It's a curved monitor. It's a very good. The Dell company is very good. Performance is very good. I am very satisfied. And if you want to go for other search in market, but I bought this because this is a 4K display, and it's good for eyes and video editing. When I use color grading in DaVinci Resolve, it helps me a lot, dear friends. So I use this main component. This is the motherboard, processors, graphic cards, and NVMe. You can go for any NVMe cheaper DDR5 RAM. No, DDR5 RAM is not so costly. You can get 32 GB on. You have to search. I bought NVMe 32 GB. Some things I'm just forgetting. Yes, I have G Skill and XPG. I have two companies, G Skill and XPG here in my computer. 30 G Skill 32 GB, one stick separate. I bought that XPG because I bought XPG DDR5 16 GB, but it was not enough for me. Then I bought 32 GB G Skill DDR5. You can go for any RAM DDR5. It's a good. And one is with RGB lightning. Second is B.dot RGB I bought because I bought budgeted at the cheap price. So it's actually the best ideals. You can go for, if you want to make more strong PC, then go for Intel i7 is good, and i9. And in the same way, you can go the upper 12 GB, cores, 24 GB threads, 12 cores, sorry, 12 cores and 24 threads. You can go for above. It will be very costly. So it's a very important to invest some money on GPU, dear friend. GPU is very important, and minimum 6 core and 12 threads are recommended for this work for the DaVinci Resolve. This is actually the our today's guide for if you want to make a mid-range computer below 1200 USD, 300 USD. You can make this PC, and this PC will be a very ideal Ryzen 7 600X on Intel. You can go for Intel 13th or 14th with integrated GPU. Say, try to buy. It's also ideal. And GPU RTX 3060 is good. It's a recommended. Otherwise, you can go above. And I think below RTX 36 GB in 2025, it's not justified to buy. If you haven't money, please wait. Earn money, something, and gather money. I got credited from some friends. Got money borrowed. I had to borrow last year. Then I bought, but later I paid them. I returned money to my friends. So in this way, your friends can cooperate, your relatives can cooperate, and later you can return after when you start earning money on like a freelancer like me. You can return money to them, and this is actually the ideal way. Dear friend, don't forget to subscribe the channels. Your one subscription gives me a lots of motivation to make more tutorial for it. Is nowadays we have the DaVinci Resolve tutorial. There are lots of playlists. Now we are working on fusion. We will color grading. We will soon working, and timeline and cut tape. We have already finished several tips about in DaVinci Resolve. So go and see, follow the class, write me suggestions, and write me in the new year 2025 which type of PC will you build for DaVinci Resolve, and write which type of brand did you buy. And for you see, for monitor I bought this Dell. It's a good, and AM5 Ryzen 7600X for nanometer technology. I have a processor, a 6 core 12 threads, and NVIDIA RTX 3060. And for SSD and VMB, I bought this 9080 something. I'm forgetting the brand. The actually the it's a 1980 Samsung. It's a good with heat sink. I bought this good SSD, and you can go for any. I have G Skill and XPG DDR5 RAMs. And for AM5 socket, the DDR5 only supports. On Intel, you can get DDR4 is cheaper, but this is the future of DDR5, so it's better to buy DDR5, not DDR5. The difference, the price between DDR5 and DDR4 are not so much. There are the difference, but you can get some at the discount. You have to try. Actually, this is the actually or case you can buy any which is good for market. I bought a Chinese company. it's not so important. But try to buy a good cooler. A stock cooler is good for a AMD 5, but I have a stock cooler. It's a good cooler working, and you can buy a separate coolers, air coolers. You can air cooler is the best. It's a recommended, dear friend. We meet in the next class, dear friend. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this to those friends who want to make such type of PC build, mid-range PC, because I have mid-range PC and it's working good for DaVinci Resolve. I sometimes work on Blender. It's also working on for graphic designing. It's so great. So we meet in the next class. Take care. Bye.